What's good, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. Happy Thursday. Hope all you're having a great day so far. Getting into this episode, let me just tell you this: the last couple days that we have been Sunny and Carly free have been the best couple of days I've ever had with this show, and now that they're back, I wish the writers would just backburner Sonny and Carly for a while because there's never anything new with them. It's always the same woe is me, cry me a river routine with them, and I'm quite sick of it. Like, seriously, the scenes with them and Brick were actually funny. I will say that. The way Brick was flirting with Carly and stuff like that, and Sonny was like, stop flirting with my wife. I actually like that part. But the rest of it is like, it's typical Sonny and Carly. They sit there, they blame everybody for their actions, and yet Sonny and Carly never take accountability for their actions. Let me just say this. They think that Ava was the one who called Sonny from Russia, which we all know is not the it's not the case. Um Carly thinks that, Ava's trying to worm her way into Avery's life or whatever and trying to make Sonny and Carly forget what she did to Morgan. I highly doubt that's what Ava's trying to do. Ava knows good and well Sonny and Carly will never forget what she did to Morgan. And so many people try to act like, everybody else downplays what Ava did to Morgan. Let me tell you something, that's not the case. My thing is, I don't downplay what Ava did to Morgan. Not at all. I felt like that was serious. But what I get irritated by is when people say Ava murdered Morgan. No, 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 no. Let's get something clear. Maybe you should go back and watch the episode. Olivia Jerome murdered Morgan, not Ava. Did Ava play a little role in there? Yes, she did because she messed with his medication, and maybe if she didn't mess with his medication, that wouldn't have happened. But obviously, if you can't sit there and say she murdered Morgan. Are you forgetting about Olivia Jerome, who actually planted the bomb in the car? Ava had nothing to do with that. She had no knowledge of it. She didn't know he was going to go to the floating rib. She didn't know he was going to get in that car. She didn't know it was going to explode. None of those things. So for people sitting there saying she murdered him, you need to check the law and look at the law of this. She did not murder him. First of all, if she did, she would have been in prison for murder. Olivia is facing charges for that, not Ava, because Ava had nothing to do with that. So stop saying she murdered him. No, she did not. Look at the facts and look at the law. She did not. Um, if they can't even prove conspiracy on her part. If they couldn't, they can't even prove it. If she had anything to do whatsoever with Morgan's murder, don't you think the cops would have arrested her? There's no charge they could put on her. None. The only thing they could have tried to get her for was tampering with his medication. And even then, they couldn't get evidence on her because they had no evidence. But if they had, I mean, come on, it's not that hard to get evidence on a person if they committed murder or something like that because if it would have been there. Olivia would have snitched and said, "Oh, Ava knew all of this, that, and the third." Obviously, because Ava didn't have anything to do with that. She didn't. Ava should have went down for the pill tampering. Yeah, I agree. She should have went to jail for that. But for murder, conspiracy to commit murder, accessory to murder, no, she had nothing to do with that. So that's not gonna fly. No, you can't put that off on Ava. The tampering with the meds, yeah, you can put that off on her. But everything else, no. Stop trying it because it's not going to work. She had nothing to do with that. Nothing you say will prove she had anything to do with that. So, nothing at all. Um, I just go based off facts and the facts of the law. If they had anything, she would have been in prison for accessory or conspiracy or flat out murder. She had nothing to do with that. So, we can't pin that on her. I pin it on the person who planted the bomb and who was responsible for that stuff, which was Olivia Jerome. That's who I say murdered Morgan, because that's the facts. Um, as far as like with Carly and all them, they sit there, they want Ava to take responsibility. Ava has taken responsibility for what she did to Morgan. She's not denying it. She's remorseful about it. She's sorry. But does Carly and Sonny ever take responsibility for the stuff they do? Have they ever walked up to Monica Quartermain and said, "Oh, I'm sorry for what we did to your son"? Never. Never. Not once. She poured liquor down that man's throat years ago. Sonny put that man on a meat hook and forced him to sign away his rights to his child. Then you flat out point blank shot him in the chest and he was unarmed. He was no threat to you. And you murdered him and both of y'all covered it up. You never once apologized for it. You never once showed regret or remorse. Ava has for what she's done. She's trying to atone for it. Even if she feels like she never can atone for it, at least she's trying to better herself. These two, no. Nothing about Sonny and Carly say they're trying to better themselves at all. They're still the same as they were years ago. Selfish, hypocritical. Don't get me wrong. I'm not trying to bash them in any way. I'm just speaking facts from what I've seen on this show for years. I like them in certain instances. I do like Sonny and Carly in some storylines. It depends. But a lot of what they do and say just irritates me. Um, it's just aggravating because they act like they don't do anything wrong. They act like they're holy and, they're made of, just angels. Like you're not. You're sinful just like everybody else on this show. Stop trying to put it out there like you're holier than now and get off your soapbox. You have committed the ultimate sin just like Ava has. They probably have done worse than Ava in their lifetime, I'm sure. Um, like if we're gonna be honest about it, let's be honest. Let's call a spade a spade. Ava, yeah, she's done some despicable things. So has Sonny and Carly. Let's be real about it. Put it out there on the table. Nobody on this show is perfect, So why should one couple act like they are? You're not. Anyway, Jocelyn. Jocelyn annoyed me a little bit today. I understand about the whole bodyguard thing and stuff like that. She doesn't like having a guard, but girl, it's only one guard. Michael and Morgan grew up with multiple guards in their life. You only have one. Calm down. Um, she is so privileged. Like she complains about, oh, woe is me. Oh, I have to have a guard. Oh, we have to go live with Sonny. You live with Sonny, but in other instances, you also live in your mother's house. So you go back and forth from both mansions. Who in real life or anywhere can say that they live in one mansion and whatever day they feel like it can move into another mansion? You're so privileged. Like, stop whining. Jesus. It's not like your mother said you couldn't go to the football game with Oscar. She said you can go, but you're going to go with a bodyguard. He's going to be sitting a few rows behind you. What are you whining about? It's not like she said you can't go. She forbids you from going. Stop complaining. Jesus Christ. So privileged. Like, you grow up in such a rich life. Like, you don't have to worry about money like everybody else. And you complain about the littlest of things, like a bodyguard. Come on. It's people in real life, celebrities, who have guards for their kids because you don't know, somebody could kidnap your kid and hold them for ransom. I mean, come on, look at Jocelyn. Like all your parents, Sonny included, they're all wealthy. They're rich. Who's to say, and they're all public figures. They're businessmen. Carly's a businesswoman. They all got money. It's public knowledge. Anybody can snatch you up and hold you for ransom. Anybody could. That's why you part of the reason you have a guard. Another part is because your stepfather's the king of Port Charles. He's the Don of Port Charles. So it makes sense that you have a guard. Why are you complaining about that? I think it would be cool for me to have a guard. Shit, make me feel important. For real, like, come on. Makes you feel important in a way. And it's kind of cool. Um, Oscar. I'm I just wish the writers would move forward with this. Like, who is this boy's parents? Every time Carly brings up his mother, he comes up with some lame excuse not to get his mother involved or contact his mother or whatever. Who is your parents? This is what I want to know. Some people keep saying Dante's his father. I don't believe Dante's his father because the way he keep talking about his mother, the way he keeps saying his mother tightens up every time he talks about his father. Why would his mother tighten up if he's talking about Dante? If Dante's the father, why would she not want Dante to know? He's a good guy. Reasonably, he's a good guy. So obviously, whoever the father is probably someone that she doesn't want her son mixed up with. Um, but we don't know nothing about this kid. Who's his mama? Who's his daddy? We know nothing about this kid. And he's been on the show now for a couple of months. Can we move forward with this, please? When Brick was talking with Sonny and Carly, initially Carly wanted Brick to do surveillance on Nell. I'm like, of course. I wish Carly would just back off of Nell right about now. Just let Michael deal with that. He's a grown man. Let him figure his own life out. But when Sonny mentioned next thing you know, you're gonna want to Brick to, follow Oscar around. Light bulb went off in Carly head because they don't know who his mom is. It's like he's been dating Jocelyn for a little while now, and Jocelyn doesn't even know his mother's name. Don't know what his mom would look like, nothing. So if I'm a parent, I want to know who my daughter parents are. You know what I'm saying? Like who's my daughter's boyfriend or my son's girlfriend. I want to know who their people are. Who wouldn't want to know that? He met you. How come you can't meet his people? To see where he come from. You know what I mean? Like I would find that a little weird and suspicious. So I think it's a good idea if Carly does contact Brick and tell Brick to look into that. I would. Like this boy has a whole question mark around his life. Like he's a mystery. And he's a mystery obviously that Carly wants to solve. And once Carly get it in her head about something, she's not gonna stop until she figure it out. So we're about to find out. I want to know who this kid mom is. Like, what's the secret? Um, Whoever his mother is, wouldn't she be curious about who her son is spending so much of his time with and who the girl parents are? Like, what parent not gonna want to know that information? Of course you would. You're not a real parent if you don't want to know that. You know what I mean? Like, if you don't want to know stuff about your kid, then you're not a real parent. Um, so anyway, this Ask Manlander stuff, I swear I wish this was done and over with. I wish. But it's obviously going to continue because now you got people showing up at the PCPD with brownies and teddy bears and balloons for Nathan. If I was Jordan, I would have fired him or at the very least suspended him because he's a cop. Like she talking about as long as this doesn't interfere with your police work. It's already interfering. You got civilians coming in here with brownies and teddy bears and balloons and stuff. That's interfering. In a way, it's interfering with his work. You can't be having civilians coming in here with baked goods and stuff like that for your cops. Not unless they're thanking them for something. But it's also bad because what if he has to go undercover or something? Now his face is plastered all over the place and everybody know he a cop. That's not good. Now you can't send him undercover. It's a complete conflict of interest. Huge conflict. And I'm surprised Jordan's not taking it more seriously. But of course Jordan was asking him for advice or whatever about her little love life. I don't know why she need advice. It's common sense. Move on with your life. If Aunt Stella don't like you, that's her problem, not yours. Y'all grown. What you need advice about that for? It's common sense. You don't need advice about that. Um, I would just tell the old lady to mind her business and get her some business. Speaking of business, so Aunt Stella told Curtis and Jordan that she got a new job at GH, I guess as a social worker or whatever. Kudos to you. Congratulations, I suppose. And Curtis is happy because he hoping that with this new job and her friendship with Felix, she'll start minding her business, which she needs to do. Um, but he was even trying to tell her that she should get out there and start dating again. But she still hung up on her old love, Marcus or whatever, the one that got away. And I think at some point Curtis is probably gonna go looking for him. Cause you can see it in Curtis' face. He's curious about this guy she keeps talking about. So he probably gonna go look into it. Which I think would be cool. You never know. It could be Billy D. Williams or somebody. That would be crazy if they get Billy D. Wasn't Billy D on Port Charles? Didn't he play a doctor on Port Charles when that show was around? I think Billy D did. So anyway, Maxie meets up. She meets up with Amy or whatever, and Amy is asking Maxie how she handling this whole fame thing with Nathan or whatever, because she kind of get the sense that Maxie's jealous or whatever that Nathan's getting all this attention. But she basically told Maxie, you need to get yourself a job or do something. You know what I mean? Like so you can have something to do and build up your self esteem again. I didn't really care about that scene. But I do agree, Maxie do need to get back into the career mode. I keep saying that she needs to start her own magazine, her own fashion magazine or something, PR business, something. I feel like Maxie's not the employee type. Like she's better off just working on her own. Um, I think that's just what she's better off doing. Anyway, Ava and Griffin, I love their scenes as usual. They figured out that Patient Six knows Sonny. Somehow he's connected to Sonny because they put two and two together. When Griffin was in Sonny's office, he heard that Sonny got a call from Russia. And that's when Ava was like, okay, well, Patient Six had a Port Charles phone number, so now she put two and two together that it had to be Sonny's number, and they're trying to figure out how is he connected to Sonny in some way. But I actually like the conversation that they had because I like that Griffin is not rushing into anything with Ava. Like he told her that he helped her as a friend because I like that, they're starting out as friends. I think all relationships need to be built off of that friendship. Furthermore, I love these deep conversations him and Ava have because it makes me feel like they're trying to understand each other better. Like she's trying to get into his mind, pick his brain to see where he's coming from to understand him more, and he's doing the same with her. I actually like that because that's how you build a real relationship in the end. You know what I'm saying? Like you start out as friends, get to know each other, and you kind of pick each other's brains to figure out what makes them tick, why they do certain things that they do, and that's exactly what Griffin was trying to find out from Ava. Like, why did she help Patient Six? Was it because she felt remorse or whatever because of Morgan or whatever the case may be? Or maybe she gave up on life at some point and didn't care what happened to her, And I like that because they be having these deep conversations and it's teaching them to learn, more about each other. And I think they would be a cool couple. I actually think they would. No denying the chemistry. You know what I mean? It's definitely dope chemistry. But anyway, tell me what you think about this episode. Hit me up in the comments, let me know. Hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. I will see you all later. Have a wonderful day. Stay blessed. Peace.